Hi, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us, and sorry about the technical difficulties that we had. We are super excited that you all are joining us today for yoga with Madison Rogas, who actually started her yoga journey while she was a student at Davidson. And so without further ado, I'm going to turn it over to her.
Hey, Wildcats. My name is Madison Rogas, and I'm a graduate of the class of 2014 from Davidson. Like Morgan said, I started my yoga journey while at Davidson. I would drive to Charlotte to Yoga One down there to kind of just find some zen and escape from the studying. Since then, I have become a 500-hour registered yoga teacher. I did my yoga teacher training at Fly Dog Yoga in Charlottesville, Virginia. And now I live in Philadelphia and I teach at Grace and Glory Yoga. So I'm so excited that you all have tuned in tonight, and I'm excited to share this with you. And I hope you all are safe and well. And let's go ahead and get started. So this is going to be just a slow, feel-good vinyasa, just a little bit of movement, opening up our shoulders and our hips. I know that we're all feeling a lot of emotions lately, so this is to help you feel good. So we're going to start on our backs, and you're going to take your feet the width of your mat, and then have your knees touching at the center of your mat. So they'll kind of sway in, holding themselves up. Take one hand to your heart and one hand to your belly. And just close your eyes here. And start to come into your breath. And we'll find an easy breath into your nose. Pause at the top. And then open mouth, sigh it out. Let's do that 2 more times. It's the end of the workday. It's Wednesday. Let's really let go. Breathe in. Pause. Sigh it out. One more time. Fill up. Let it go. And then just find an easy, natural breath in through your nose and out through your nose. And start to bring your awareness to your body on your mats, where the soles of your feet are touching, how you're grounding down to the floor. The space where your low back is touching your mat and your hips. And then that natural curve just above your tailbone as it goes up the rest of your spine, making an imprint in your mat. And then across your shoulders, the back of your head. Come back to that easy breath in. Feel your rib cage expand as you fill up to your collarbone. And then everything starts to contract as you exhale. Inhale, breathe in, feel your lungs expand. And as you exhale, pull your belly button down towards your spine. Take 2 more breaths here. Final one. And then start to bring your knees into your chest and grab onto your knees with your hands and just start to make little circles going clockwise and then counterclockwise, really feeling the entire length of your back, your spine on your mat. And then find stillness in the middle and drop your legs over to the left side of your mat for a supine twist. So knees drop to the left side and then take your gaze over to your right thumb. Your right arm can be out long like a T, or you can goal post it, so bending at your elbow. And left hand, you can take it to your right knee to help you twist a little bit more, but that might be too much. So you decide. And with each inhale, lengthen your spine. And each exhale, twist a little bit more. See if you can keep pressing your right shoulder down into your mat. And then come back through center. Give your knees a big squeeze. And then drop them to the other side of your mat. And I like to kind of pick my hips up and move them to the opposite side that my knees are going, just to give myself more space to twist. So again, you can take that T or the goalpost with your elbow. Right hand can come to your left knee to help you twist. And keep your eyes open here. Just really start to come into your body and your breath. Inhale to lengthen your spine. Exhale to twist. 2 more times. Last one, longest inhale. Longest exhale. Come back through center and hug your knees in. And start to rock yourself up. We're coming into tabletop. All right, so for tabletop, you want to have your shoulders directly over your wrists and then your hips directly over your knees. My hands are shoulder distance apart and my knees are hip distance apart. And make a long line with the back of your neck. So the top of your head pulls forward and your tailbone pulls to the back of your mat. Spread your fingers wide and press down in every fingertip, all 10 fingertips down into your mat. And then move your left hand a little bit more towards the center of your mat. Inhale, reach your right arm up, open your chest to the right side, and then thread the needle. So your right arm will come underneath your body. The top of your right shoulder will come down to your mat, and you can rest your right cheek, the side of your face, down on your mat. Hips can stay up in space like this, or you can pull them down towards your heels like child's pose. I prefer mine up. And you can walk your left hand forward to really lengthen out the left side of your body. Press the back side of your right hand into your mat. Like really feel your fingernails pressing down. Final breath this side. Take your left hand back by your face and then press in your hand. Inhale, reach up, open up. Right hand down, and then just take your hips side to side if that feels good. And we'll take thread the needle on the other side. So move your right hand a little bit in towards center. Inhale, sweep your left arm long, really open through your chest. And then thread the needle. This time, your left shoulder comes down to your mat. And you really want to lengthen out the entire back side of your left arm. You can walk your right fingertips forward. And you'll notice that your right hip started to creep forward a little bit. So use your core and the strength of your legs to pull slightly back with your right hip to square your hips off a little bit more. Find length and twist. Final breath. Take your right hand back by your face, press, open up, find that counter twist, and then hand down to your mat again, shake it off. And if it feels good, you can find like circles with your back. It's kind of really getting sitting at the desk wiggles out. I know we're all sitting in new desks and it might not be our fancy setup like in the office with all the back support. So just kind of find what feels good for you tonight. And then we're gonna find a short little flow with a cat and a cow. So hands are underneath your shoulders again, like we did in tabletop. Take an inhale, drop your belly, look up, cow pose. And then exhale, arch your spine, cat. Pull your shoulder blades apart and take your gaze back between your knees. Inhale, belly drops, look up, cow pose. Exhale, arch, cat. And then really push your shoulders so they're directly over your wrist still. One more time, take your belly down, look up. Exhale, arch your spine, open up even more. Gaze goes between your big toes this time. And then come back to your flat back. And press it back to downward facing dog. So keep your hands exactly where they are to give yourself a strong base there. And my feet are hip distance apart. Find a couple of little movements, maybe bending one knee and then the other. And then some moments of stillness. So pull the center of your heels directly behind your second toe, your toe right next to your big toe. Pull that down to your mat. And as you do this, press your hands down and forward, really lengthening out your spine here. Take a slight bend into your knees to pull your sits bones up towards the ceiling. On your next inhale, lift your right leg up high to the ceiling and turn your foot in circles. And then go the opposite direction. Lift your leg a little bit higher on your inhale. And then exhale, step your foot between your hands, finding a low lunge. So my right knee is over my right ankle, maybe a little bit further. And then my left knee is down on my mat and my toes are untucked. And this is our first lunge of the day. And you're really gonna feel this in your left hip flexor down your left thigh. So you can stay with your hands on your mat. If you wanna feel a little bit more, you're a little bit tighter, you can take your hands to your right knee and press it forward as you pull your chest back. Take 2 more breaths wherever you are. Take your gaze up. And then inhale. On your next exhale, pull your hips back, straighten out your front knee for a half splits. Now I'm feeling super tight in my right hamstring, so this is a very intense stretch for me today. Pull your toes on your right foot back towards your face and keeping your heel where it is. You want to imagine that you're dragging your heel back towards your hips. And keep pulling your hips back towards your left heel. But notice that my hip is still up. So my left hip is almost right on top of my left knee rather than coming all the way down. You'll get more out of this pose if you stay here in this spire, this intense stretch on the right side. Inhale, come forward, low lunge. Maybe this time you're a little bit more open. Interlace your fingers and press them down towards your mat. Pull your chest open. One more breath. Release your bind, hand alongside your foot. Find those half splits again. Maybe you pull your hips a little bit further back. And then come back forward, low lunge, and twist open towards your right knee, reaching your right arm up high. And you can stay with your left knee down on your mat, or you can lift it up to twist a little bit more. Take one more breath. Frame your front foot with your hands and then step your right foot back for high plank. You can stay up like this, or if you need to drop to your knees, you're more than welcome to do so. So stay here, high plank, and then drop down to chaturanga, our yogi push-up. Inhale, upward facing dog. Untuck your toes and press the tops of your feet down into your mat. Big breath in. Tuck your toes, press it back, downward facing dog. Take 3 breaths here. And know that as we start to move our body and do a little bit more work, you can always come back to your breath. Use that as the thing that grounds you to this practice. Inhale, lift your left leg high. Turn your foot in circles. And then lift it a little bit higher. Step it through that low lunge, this time on the left. I'm untucking my back toes. Left knee over my left ankle, or maybe a little bit further if I want a deeper stretch on my right side. A couple of options here. Again, your hands can stay alongside your foot, or you can take them to your knee and just slowly start to press it away. Not cranking into it, but just really using your breath, and one little bit at a time. And any sensations that come up, just breathe into it and know that there's a difference between intensity and intense stretch or feeling and pain. If it's painful, back off a little bit. But if it's just intense and you feel all the feels, then stay and breathe. Take your hands alongside your foot and pull back, half splits. Left toes pull back towards your face. And I thought my other side was tight, but man, feeling it on this one. So pull your hips back towards the center of your mat. I'm feeling mine coming towards the right, so I'm pulling them back towards center, pulling my left toes back and breathing here. One more breath. Shift your weight forward, low lunge again. This time you can reach your arms up, or you can interlace and pull down, pull open. This is a good shoulder opener here and heart opener. It pulls your shoulders apart and broadens across your collarbones. One more breath. One more time, half splits, pull it back and pull your hips back towards the center of your mat. Shift your weight forward, low lunge twist. Reach up with your left hand, and your left hand is directly over your left shoulder, and your left shoulder is directly over your right shoulder. Your knee can stay down or pick it up off your mat. Take one more breath. Place your left hand down. Step your right foot to the top of your mat for a forward fold. We're gonna find Ragdoll Pose. And for Ragdoll, you wanna take your right hand to your left elbow, left hand to your right elbow, and just hang heavy. I have a big bend into my knees, and so much so that my belly is touching my thighs. I'm really letting go here. I'm not putting any pressure on the backs of my thighs, my hamstrings. And pull your chin back towards your throat to lengthen out the back of your neck. Nod your head, yes. Shake your head, no. And then halfway lift, you're gonna take your hands to your low back and interlace your fingers, like find that webbing. Pull your knuckles away from the top of your head and slowly start to fold forward. Again, this is a really good heart opener, shoulder opener. My knees still have a really big bend, and let your head go as you pull your knuckles forward and pull the heels of your palms apart to intensify this stretch. One more breath. Slowly release. Inhale, halfway lift, find a flat back. Forward fold. Press down into your feet. Inhale, rise up, extended mountain pose. Root down through your feet as you pull up through your fingertips. Forward fold. Halfway lift. Step it back, high plank. And if you want to skip this part, you can go straight to downward facing dog. Otherwise, you can take chaturanga, upward facing dog. Lift your thighs off your mat, downward facing dog. Come back to your breath, to your body, to your mat. Be here. Come up high onto your toes, bend your knees, and either step to the top or hop your feet to your hands. Halfway lift, press your hands into your thighs, forward fold. Inhale, rise up, extended mountain pose. Spread your fingers wide and pull your biceps by your ears. Forward fold. Halfway lift, lengthen. Again, your choice. You can go to downward facing dog, high plank or knees on your mat, chaturanga, upward facing dog. Pull your chin back, downward facing dog. We'll take this sun salutation A one more time. Look forward, and either you can tippy toe to the top or hop. Halfway lift, fold, press down, rise up, extended mountain pose. Hug your leg muscles to the bone, forward fold. Halfway lift, step it back, high to low plank or chaturanga. Upward facing dog. Pull your upper arm bones back. Downward facing dog. Inhale, lift your right leg high. And then step your right foot between your hands, low lunge. My left knee is off my mat. And then on my next exhale, headphone difficulties, hold on. On your next exhale, press your right leg straight and press it back for a wide leg pyramid pose. So my right leg is straight, my left leg is straight, and pull your left heel down towards your mat. Take your gaze back towards your left big toe. Inhale, come forward, low lunge again. And then on your next inhale, pull yourself up to warrior two. So your chest is open to the side of your mat now. Pull your right knee towards the top of your mat and press into the pinky side edge of your left foot. Strong arms here, and take your gaze to your right middle finger. Flip your front palm. Inhale, reverse your warrior. Keep pulling your right knee forward. Exhale, side angle, right elbow to your right knee. Lift up with your left fingertips. And the easy thing to do is to take your shoulder and your ear and use it as a shelf. But this will hurt your neck in the end. So press off, lift up. Take a breath in and a breath out. Inhale, reverse your warrior again. This time straighten your front leg for reverse triangle. And then triangle pose. So my right knee is straight. If you have a block or even just a water bottle, you can use that here. So take it to the outside of your foot and inhale, lift up. If you don't have that prop, you can take your hand to your shin, your ankle, whatever it is, and lift up. So find length here on the left side of your body and press your feet in opposite directions. Gaze goes up to your left thumb. Press down into your feet. Inhale, pulls you up. And turn your toes so both feet are facing the side of your mat. Hands to your hips. Fold forward for wide leg forward folds. I like to interlace my fingers and take them to the back of my head to use a little bit of traction here and let go of any tension I'm holding on to in my neck. You can do this, or you can walk your hands between your legs to help you fold a little bit deeper. Wherever you are, take 2 more breaths. Last one. Lock your hands underneath your face, halfway lift, and then turn your toes to face the top of your mat. Walk your hands forward for lizard pose. So now my hands are on the inside of my right foot. It's very similar to a low lunge. And you can rock back and forth, really feeling it down the front side of your left thigh. Take 1 more breath. And this sounds scarier than it actually is. Press down into your right foot, and you're going to shift your weight forward and kick up to standing split. So press down into your right foot. Just lift your left leg high. Turn your left pinky toe down towards your mat. Take a breath. Forward fold. And then we're going to take Padagustasana, which means peace fingers to big toes. So do what that sounds like, peace fingers. And then wrap them around your big toes. My feet are hip distance apart. Halfway lift, pull up hard on your toes. And then exhale, fold forward and pull your right elbow to the right side of your mat, left elbow to the left side. Again, let go of any tension you're holding on in your head. So no need to look up at the camera, the animals walking around you, or kids, whatever it is. Just let that go. And take your gaze to something on the ceiling that's behind you. Release your toes, halfway lift, forward folds. Press down, rise up, extended mountain pose. Bow forward. Halfway lift. And then you can either go to downward facing dog or find this little vinyasa, high to low plank, chaturanga. Upward facing dog. Take your gaze up with just your eyeballs. Downward facing dog. 5 breaths to reground yourself. Where can you soften? Maybe it's in your joints, bending a little in your elbows or your knees. Or your breath really started to pick up, so soften there. Or in your face, are you holding on to tension in your jaw? Shake that side to side. Inhale, lift your left leg high. Step it between your hands, low lunge. Again, your right knee is lifted, so you're just on the ball of your toes, your foot. Rock forward and back. And then on your next inhale, press it back for that wide pyramid. Right heel pulls down towards your mat, straighten your front knee, and pull your chest over that front leg. Gaze goes back to your right big toe. Inhale, come forward, low lunge. And then pull yourself up to stand, warrior 2. Your right toes go directly to the right side of your mat, and left toes are forward. So you're making a 90-degree angle with your feet. They're just spread wide. Chest is open to the right side of your mat. Take your gaze forward. Inhale, pull your shoulders up to your ears. And then on your exhale, pull them down and back. Flip your front palm. Inhale, reverse your warrior. Keep pulling your left knee forward. Find this intense, beautiful side stretch on your left side. Side angle pose. So left elbow to your left knee. Reach up tall with your right fingertips. And let your feet carry the weight here. So not dumping down into your left elbow, but really lifting up. Inhale, reverse triangle. Straighten your front knee, reach up, reach back. Triangle pose. Again, if you have a block or a water bottle, you can place it on the outside of your foot. Reach up. Really open your fingers here. open palm. Last breath. Press down into your feet. Inhale, pulls you up. Turn your toes to face the side of your mat again. And we'll do that wide leg forward fold. And this time we're going to take a twist with it. I'm going to turn around so you can see what I'm doing. But take your left hand underneath your face, right hand to your hip, and start to twist open to the right side. Lift your right fingers up, extend your arm, and you can stay like this. Or if you want a deeper twist, you can take your left hand to your right foot to help you twist a little bit more. Come back through center and go to the other side. So right hand beneath your face, left hand to your hip, and really use your elbow to help you twist. You're twisting through your torso, your upper body, and then reach up with your left hand. You can stay here or take your right hand to your left foot. Hands back beneath your face. Walk it forward. Now you just switch legs, I forgot. Lizard pose. So now your hands are on the inside of your left foot. Right knee is off your mat, and you're just kind of rocking forward and back. And then we're going to come into our standing splits. So press down through your left heel, shift your weight forward, and slowly start to kick up standing splits. Pull your right hip down in line with your left. Take one more breath. Forward fold. Take Padahastasana, which is gorilla pose. Palms to feet. So your palms are going to slip underneath your feet, facing up towards the soles of your feet, and work your toes all the way up to your wrist creases, or try and get there. And then press your toes down into your wrists, halfway lift, forward fold. And use this as an assisted forward fold. So as you press down with your feet, you're pulling up with your hands to help you fold a little bit deeper. Last breath. Release your hands. And we'll take one more little vinyasa, halfway lift, forward folds. Press down, rise up, extended mountain pose. Bow forward. Halfway lifts. Step it back, high plank. Again, you can drop your knees. I'll demo that. Chaturanga, elbows hug back. Upward facing dog. Downward facing dog. Come up high onto your toes, and then just start to walk them forward and make your way down onto a seat. Doing a time check. Since we started a little bit later, I'm going to go just a little bit over 6:15 so you get that full effect of a class. Make your way down onto your back. Take your feet hip distance apart and just windshield wiper, as we call it. It's a very yogic firm windshield wipe your knees. So windshield wipe your knees back and forth. And then find your feet hip distance apart, and we're gonna find bridge pose. So press down into your heels, lift your hips up. And as you come up, actively squeeze your glutes, your hamstrings, and your quadriceps, so everything is hugging in to help you press up a little bit more. Hands can stay alongside your hips, or I like to interlace my fingers and pull my knuckles towards my heels to help me lift up a little bit more. Take one more breath. Come all the way down. Again, find that very yoga pose. Windshield wiper back and forth. And then find happy baby pose. So bend your knees. You can either grab the soles of your feet on the outsides, or if that's not accessible, you can grab your ankles, your calves, the backs of your thighs, whatever feels good or accessible for you tonight. And as you take that, notice my hips are coming off your mat or my mat. So as I'm pulling my knees down, I'm also pulling my tailbone and my low back down towards my hip, back, my mat, my hips too. Really trying to eliminate that gap between my seat and the mat. Release your feet and find figure four. So take your right ankle across your left knee and pull your knee up into your chest. There's several options here. Hip openers can be really intense, and it's what you want to make of it. So you can either grab onto the back of your left thigh, grab your left shin, or if you want even more, you can take your right hand to your right knee, and as you pull in with your left hand, you press your right knee away. But really go slowly here, and don't crank into it. Don't just automatically press as hard as you can. Go really slowly. And flex both your feet. Protect your knees. And a lot of things might be coming up for you right now. We hold a lot of emotions in our hips, so things start to come up, getting difficult for you to breathe. I encourage you just to lengthen out your inhale and match the length with your exhale. Slowly release and maybe find that windshield wiper again if that feels good. And then take this on the other side. So now my left ankle is over my right knee and I hug in. I like to keep my hands just on the back of my thigh. That feels best for me. Flex both your feet. So pull your toes away from your heels. Really activate your foot. Again, you can deepen it by taking your left hand to your knee and push and pull there. 3 more breaths. Slowly release that. Hug your knees into your chest and rock up to a seat. We'll find seated tree. Extend your right leg long and take your left foot to the inside of your right thigh. And just like you would in standing tree, really press your foot and your thigh together. And you might need to move your seat physically out of the way so you can ground down through your sits bones. Inhale, reach up high and turn your chest, your torso over your right leg as you fold forward. My cat, Frida Kahlo, really enjoys the spotlight, so she's joined us for the last part of class. Keep pulling your hips down towards your mat. And then hold on to your right foot with your right hand and turn your chest open to the left side and reach your left fingers over your left ear towards your toes, just finding this intense side stretch. Opening up from your left hip all the way up to your left fingertips. And then I like to call this pose flash dance asana. Again, it's very, very official. Take your left hand hung behind your left hip, press down into your hands and your left shin bone as you lift up, right leg is straight. Just open up your chest. And all the way down. I've heard someone call it like shooting star, stargazer or something, but I'm just really into the flash dance, you know? Reminds me of Davidson College days. All right. Find seated tree on the left side. So your right foot is on the inside of your left thigh. Inhale, reach up and then turn your torso towards your left thigh and fold forward. Release any tension in the back of your neck. Really try and flatten that out so there's no wrinkles from you trying to hold your neck up, put your head up, just let it go. And then find that opening to the right side of your mat. Holding on with your left hand and reaching up and over with your right. And as you reach up and over, actively pull your right hip down towards your mat. And then we'll find flash dance again. Take your right hand behind your right hip, press down, lift up, and slowly lower. And then come all the way down onto your back. And we're gonna end just like we started with supine twist. So drop your left knees over to the left side. Gaze over to your right arm. And notice how this pose feels in comparison to the pose we took at the very beginning of class. And maybe it's the exact same, or maybe you can twist a little bit more, or you feel more length down your spine and ease in your breath. Come back to the center and drop your knees to the other side. And maybe you notice a difference between the left and the right. And it's not a judgment, just an awareness. Frida has joined the party. It's actively trying to eat me. Take a breath in. Come back through center. Hug your knees into your chest, forehead to your knees, and really hug on tight. Close your eyes. We'll take 3 breaths before Shavasana, which is our final resting pose. A big breath in. Open mouth. Hug in tighter, breathe in. Stick your tongue out. Final one, fill up. And let it all go. Shavasana, final rest. I like to take my feet the width of my mat. Let my arms just fall wherever they do. Let your toes fall in opposite directions. Close your eyes. And allow the next few moments for you to just be as you are. No phone to check. No watch to look at. Just you and your breath and your mat. Pull your bottom teeth away from your top. And then stick your tongue from the roof of your mouth. And start to deepen your breath. Bring subtle movements back into your body, wiggling your fingers and your toes. Your head side to side. Take a big good morning stretch. Touch your fingers away from your toes, fill up. Let it go. Hug your knees into your chest and roll over onto your right side. Pausing for a moment in this in-between, between your practice and the rest of your day. Slowly press yourself up to a comfortable seat, and you can keep your eyes closed or soften your gaze to the tip of your nose. Inhale, reach your arms above your head. And on your exhale, bring all that you're grateful for to heart center. So here's to you for taking the time for yourself, for being patient with yourself and listening to what your body needs in this time knowing that we can't control everything, but knowing we can always come back to our breath. So we'll close with the word namaste, and that just means that the light in me sees and honors the light in each and every one of you, and all that you are, and all that you're not. Namaste. So thank you so much for joining me tonight, Davidson. It really means so much to me to be able to connect with you in this way. And even though we are technically social distancing, I like to say that right now what we're really doing is physical distancing. And even though we are not together physically, we can still connect. And we really aren't practicing social distancing. We are connecting more than ever through things like this, through FaceTime calls, calling friends, family, college roommates, whatever it may be. I encourage you to still connect with your loved ones and show them that you're grateful for them in this time. So thank you so much for turning out tonight, and check out the other series that Davidson's putting on for us. So thank you. Stay well. Again, I'm Madison Rogas, class of 2014. Thank you.